In the heart of the 19th century, the once mighty Qing Dynasty of China teetered on the brink. Years of corruption, famine, and defeat in the Opium Wars had sown deep despair across the land. Peasants toiled under crushing taxes, their grievances ignored, their future bleak. The mandate of heaven, the divine right to rule, seemed to be slipping from the Qing Emperor's grasp. A storm was gathering, fueled by desperation and a yearning for change, a storm that would soon engulf the nation in one of history's deadliest conflicts. This was the fertile ground from which the Taiping Rebellion would spring, a cataclysm that would claim tens of millions of lives and scar China forever. From this crucible of suffering emerged a figure named Xiuquan, a Hakka scholar who had repeatedly failed the imperial civil service examinations. Hong experienced a series of profound visions during a severe illness in 1837. In these fevered dreams, he ascended to a heavenly realm where a golden-bearded old man lamented humanity's worship of demons instead of him. A middle-aged man, whom Hong later identified as Jesus Christ, instructed him to slay these demons. Hong came to believe he was the younger brother of Jesus, sent to Earth to eradicate idol worship and establish a new heavenly kingdom. Initially dismissed as madness, his message began to resonate with the disenfranchised, particularly among the Hakka minority and impoverished peasants in Guangxi province. Hong, along with his trusted associate Feng Yunshan, founded the Bai Shangdi Hui, or God-worshipping society. It was a potent blend of Protestant Christian teachings, ancient Chinese utopian ideals, and Hong's own interpretations. They preached equality, common property, and strict morality, condemning opium, alcohol, gambling, and polygamy. The society offered a powerful alternative to the failing Confucian order and the distant Qing authorities. Thousands flocked to their banner, drawn by the promise of salvation, justice, and a new world. What began as a religious movement rapidly transformed into a potent military and political force, ready to challenge the Qing dynasty itself. In January 1851 at Jintian, Xiuquan officially declared an uprising, proclaiming the establishment of the Taiping Tianguo, the heavenly kingdom of great peace. His followers, now a disciplined and fanatical army, cut off their queues in defiance of Qing rule. The early Taiping forces, driven by religious zeal, achieved stunning victories against the demoralized Green Standard armies of the Qing. They swept northwards, their numbers swelling. Their military organization was formidable, with men and women segregated into different units, all subject to rigid discipline. In March 1853, the Taiping forces captured the great southern city of Nanjing. Xiuquan renamed it Tianjing, the heavenly capital, and made it the heart of his burgeoning kingdom. From here, the Taiping sought to govern. They implemented radical social programs. Land was to be distributed equally, women were declared equal to men, and allowed to serve in the army and administration. They destroyed Confucian temples, ancestral shrines, and Buddhist monasteries, viewing them as demonic. A new calendar, new script reforms, and strict moral codes were imposed. For a time, it seemed as if a new dynasty might indeed overthrow the old. The Qing response, initially slow, gradually hardened. The war that ensued was one of unparalleled brutality. Both sides committed horrific atrocities. Cities were besieged, populations massacred, and vast swathes of the countryside were laid waste. The conflict drew in local militias, foreign mercenaries, and eventually, Western powers who saw the Taiping as a greater threat to their trade interests. The Taiping military machine struggled with logistics and internal cohesion. The human cost was staggering. Estimates range from 20 to 30 million dead, making it the bloodiest civil war in human history. As the war dragged on, the Taiping heavenly kingdom began to crumble from within. Xiuquan, increasingly withdrawn and paranoid in his Tianjing palace, lost touch with reality. His key lieutenants, the kings, fell victim to power struggles. The most devastating was the Tianjing Incident of 1856, where the East King, Yang Xiuqing, who had claimed to channel God's voice, was brutally murdered along with thousands of his followers on Hong's orders. This bloody infighting crippled the Taiping leadership and fatally weakened their military capacity. The initial utopian zeal gave way to corruption and disillusionment. The Qing, under capable commanders like Zheng Guofan and with support from Western-trained forces like the ever-victorious army, gradually tightened the noose. After years of relentless campaigning, Tianjing was besieged. Hong Xiuquan, defiant, died in June 1864, possibly by suicide or illness, as his heavenly capital starved. Just over a month later, in July 1864, Tianjing fell. A horrific massacre ensued, and the Taiping Rebellion was brutally crushed. Sporadic resistance continued, but the dream of a heavenly kingdom was extinguished in a sea of blood. The Taiping Rebellion left an indelible mark on China. It devastated the country's richest provinces, shattered the Qing Dynasty's authority, and contributed to its eventual collapse in 1912. While ultimately a failure, the rebellion's radical social ideas and its challenge to the old order would echo in later revolutionary movements. It stands as a terrifying testament to the destructive power of ideology, the depths of human suffering in times of chaos, and the complex interplay of faith, ambition, and societal upheaval. The ghosts of those millions lost still haunt the pages of history. Subscribe.